Hello everybody. The first European final of the season brought together here in Istanbul. It's Freiburg against Aston Villa in the UEFA Europa League, and well, what a night this could be. Two of the best in the competition and two sides meeting for the first time. What a season it's been. And now, a shot at the Champions League and ultimate glory. Well then, here we go. Well, for Freiburg, it's a few changes since the last game. Atabolu, Trey, Leinhardt, Ginter, Kubler, Hoffler, Eggestein, Grifo, Manzambi, Dink and Matanovic start for Freiburg tonight. Key players, of course, on the bench too, but of course this German side not yet qualified for the Champions League. This is, of course, Freiburg's first European final. Villa have reached a third European final now. But Emiliano Martinez starts in goal. John McGinn takes the captain's armband after 2 goals against Liverpool last week. Martinez, Digne, Torres, Consa, Cash, Tielemans, Barkley, Rogers, Buendia, McGinn and Ollie Watkins starts up front, looking to impress ahead of Thomas Tuchel's England squad announcement this Friday. So then, let's get cracking. Two of the best in the competition have reached one last 90 minutes to decide the Europa League winners. Here's Tielemans. Morgan Rogers. Named definitely on Thomas Tuchel's England team sheet. Whether Ollie Watkins joins him, it will be a bit of a wait and see. Here's Watkins again. Barkley looking to chip it through for... That was Buendia, but it wasn't quite to be. Digne, good little tackle there and gets it to Rogers, but it's dispossessed in the middle. Here's Dinski. Kubler. Wide down the right, Freiburg already on the attack. Matanovic. Manzarbi. Here's Matanovic again. Eggestein of the Grifo. True. Looked into the area looking for Grifo. And, well, foul given in favour of Aston Villa. If you're wondering how Freiburg did, they advanced the round of 16 after a good league stage, finished in 7th place. Genk, Celta Vigo and Braga on the route to the final tonight. On the other hand, Villa, 2nd place in the league stage, and then, oh, that's a paw from Martinez, and well, Consa there to spare the blushes. Kubler, Eggestein, Hoffler over to Manzarbi, Matanovic, here's Grifo, Hoffler, Manzarbi looking for Grifo again, and well, Aston Villa feeling the pressure now. But they've had a interesting route to the final, trips to Lille, Bologna and Nottingham Forest. Premier League rivals, of course. It would have been widely tipped by the media that one of those two were going to potentially win this competition. Freiburg looking like they could spring a surprise. Buendia whipping it in for Ollie Watkins. Watkins turns! Wide of the mark. Well, it's a bit of a hit and hope, that one. Atabolu with the free goal kick now. Almost said free kick. Dinski. Manzabi. Eggestein onto Hoffler. Freiburg dominating possession at the minute, and well, Unai Emery, I can see him on the touchline. He looks a little bit nervous. Manzabi. Grifo. Hoffler down the left-hand side for Grifo. Trey, sorry. Here's McGinn. Here's Tielemans. Morgan Rogers. Here's Luca Digne. Barkley. And we're having a lot of overnight rain here in Istanbul. Europe has been very, very under the weather recently, you might say. Barkley into Tielemans. Ross Barkley again. Played wide to Matty Cash. Chipped forward for Ollie Watkins. Played back to Cash. Dispossessed by Freiburg and now cleared upfield. Well, there's a bit of atmosphere in the stadium, but not too much at the minute. Maybe a goal will change things. Buendia whipping it in for Tielemans, and Matthias Ginter clears away. Manzambi. Manzambi scored against Braga in the semi-finals. A vital goal that did actually take them through in the end. It was 4-3 on aggregate in Portugal. Here's Tielemans. Morgan Rogers. Definitely getting as forward as Unai Emery really would like. Of course, Villa were in attacking flow in the past couple of weeks. 4 goals against Nottingham Forest and also against Liverpool. Barkley to Tielemans. Played wide looking for John McGinn. Buendia played forward for Ollie Watkins and it goes down but no penalty given. Corner kick. And this was the chance earlier on that Watkins had, and well, he's wide of the mark. Very, very wide of the mark in fact. Of course, the winners of the Europa League, of course, get into the Westie TV Charity Cup if we do host it. Din looking for Konsa. Wide of the mark. We will have to see. Of course, we've got multiple videos coming out from the UEFA competitions over next week. You've got the Women's Champions League final coming up shortly, and also you also have the UEFA Conference League and also the UEFA Champions League finals. Don't miss that. Crystal Palace against Rayo Vallecano and Arsenal versus Paris Saint-Germain. Don't miss both of those. You're not going to want to miss all the action. The day before the actual final, of course, each video will be released. Manzambi. Hoffler into Trey. And caught offside by the assistant referee. And I think this might be... yeah, well, he's stood off by a shoulder, but... hard one to see that. Well, Villa playing it forward. It's like the wind's taken that one. And well, half-time here in Istanbul, and well, Villa have had their chances, but Freiburg controlling possession and also making some good chances at the other end as well. More to play for in the second half. The half-time break then here in Istanbul. Freiburg 0, Aston Villa 0. Welcome back everybody. Second half underway here in Istanbul, and well, Freiburg and Aston Villa looking to break the deadlock in this second half. Remember, an extra half an hour if required, and penalties too. If it does get to that stage, I'm sure it becomes the £100 million penalty shootout. Or euro if you're German. I'm not sure what 100 million is actually in euros, probably about 120. Here's Hoffler, a bit of a cheer from the Freiburg crowd. Manzambi. Both teams playing very similar styles tonight, of course, the typical 4-2-3-1. Eggestein over to Dinczki. Manzambi wide over to Dinczki again. Manzambi trying to break through past Luca Digne, and that's not quite to be. Buendia. Played wide, Luca Digne. Tielemans played off to Rodgers, and now Aston Villa looking to build. Here's Ross Barkley. Matty Cash and dispossessed, and Eggestein played over to Dinczki again. Kubla. Eggestein to Hoffler to Manzambi. Dinczki. Freiburg, I think, are loving playing the ball around. I'd love to see the possession stat a bit later. If FC26 will give it to us. Here's Digne. Over to Rodgers. Kubla back to Dinczki again, and now Freiburg looking to build once more. Matanovic. Dinczki. Digne playing it forward. Manzambi picking up the ball and losing out to Pau Torres. 25 to go left here in Istanbul of normal time. You have to think a goal at this point would probably be the winner. Here's Barkley. Digne. Rodgers to Tielemans. Rodgers. Barkley. I'm struggling with the wet pitch. Here's Watkins. John McGinn. Buendia into Barkley and playing it around the midfield, but Hoffler gets in the way. Grifo into Manzambi again. Real kind of struggle to get this ball where they really want it. Here's Matanovic. Hoffler. Manzambi into Dinczki. Cross going in, but it's deflected behind for a corner. And I believe we're going to get some substitutions here. Jadon Sancho comes on to play his third European final in 3 years after the Champions League in 2024, Europa League last year. Here's Grifo whipping the ball into the box. Hoffler, good save, Martinez. I'm surprised Sancho has come on. And here he is. Matty Cash into Sancho. Here's John McGinn. Laid across looking for Watkins. It's too far. And Atabolu comes out to claim it. Here's Grifo. Through to Linehardt to Hoffler. Eggestein into Matanovic. Dinczki. Sancho to Watkins. Ross Barkley. Wide to Tielemans. Digne. Sancho dispossessed by Matthias Ginter. True into Hoffler, into Grifo. Freiburg are playing some lovely football tonight. Yuito Suzuki. Hoffler. 5 to go then. Oh, misplaced pass. There's a shove in the back as well. And Freiburg will have a free kick. Well, one last roll of the dice then. Barkley coming off, and I think that is... I'm quite tempted that is number for Villa. We'll see in a second. Need the graphic for that one. Hoffler off for Osterhager. And Boubacar Kamara coming on for Ross Barkley. Been injured for a while. He's making his return. Egerstein into Yuka Suzuki. Ginter. Sancho. One last attack maybe for Villa. 1 minute added on. Got to play it forward. This is going to go to extra time now, isn't it? It is. Extra time awaits Freiburg and Aston Villa. They've given their everything for 90 minutes, but they've got half an hour left. A bit of additional time to find a goal. Who will find it though? Full time. Freiburg 0, Villa 0. Welcome back, everybody. Second half underway. So not second half, extra time. You tell I've commentated maybe too many games recently. Oh, Tielemans has come off and it's given to Anana instead. Kamara whipped into Watkins. First major chance for Villa in a little over an hour. Osterhager to Egerstein and now wide out to Grifo. Through to Grifo again. It's just that funny feeling in the back of my mind we might end up at penalties. Besta. Here's Morgan Rogers, played back to Luca Digne. You have to think this could be caution to the wind, and we know what Emiliano Martinez is like with penalties. Can he win another trophy in his career in a penalty shootout? Here's John McGinn whipping it into the box and looking for Nana, but it was well dealt with by Matthias Ginter. Here's Suzuki. Running past the play as well. And now Matanovic on a run for Freiburg. Played back to Suzuki. He was struggling with the rain. And free kick given for Aston Villa. Handball, I think, on Suzuki. Well, Ollie Watkins isn't going to have any more time on this Istanbul pitch tonight. He's off. Is that enough for the England squad? We'll have to see. Matanovic comes off for Hola. Half time then in extra time. And Aston Villa may be starting to feel the pressure just a little bit. Freiburg had a chance, but it was pretty well recovered by the Villa boys. Half time and extra time. 0-0 still the score. Welcome back, everybody. 15 more minutes then, and we're up to a shootout. Might we have a big grand finish? Grifo and Watkins came off for Watkins, and Morgan Rogers is off for Donia Marlin. So this is going to be an interesting shootout. Egerstein and Anana are battling it out. Sancho playing it back to Anana again. Sancho. Luca Digne. Matson. Is it cleared away? Here's Hola. Waiting for Freiburg support to arrive. Egerstein into Besta. Kubler to Egerstein again. Osterhager into Günther. Here's Günther. Osterhager, Besta, Hola. Pau Torres in the right place at the right time. 5 to go. Suzuki. A goal here would raise the roof. Here's John McGinn. Cash fouled in the bottom left there, you can see. Let's play on. Pau Torres playing it forward, and that's going to go out for a goal kick. And the yellow card does come out. Well played by the referee, Christian Günther, for his foul on Matty Cash. John McGinn wanted that play to be called back. It's a bit horrific. Well, Atabolu will have the chance to send it up for Freiburg for one last time. I don't think he's elected to do so. 1 minute added on. And it looks like penalties is going to be the only outcome to settle these two sides. Well, another Europa League final goes to penalties. The last since Rangers and Eintracht Frankfurt on the German side triumphed on that day. But at full time, 120 minutes can't separate these two sides. Freiburg 0, Aston Villa 0. So then, first penalty, Matthias Ginter versus Martinez. Slotted down, sends Martinez the wrong way. Marlon stepping up against Atabolu. Saved by Atabolu. Villa missed first. Egerstein now. Straight down the middle. That's a shocking penalty. Jadon Sancho. Tap off. Third final. A perfect penalty. 3 years, 3 finals for Sancho. And they're level again. Here's Kubler. Good penalty from Freiburg. Boubacar Kamara. Good penalty from Villa. Bester versus Martinez. Pressure's on. Good penalty. Martinez got down there, but not quite quick enough. Lucadinha now. Straight down the middle. Atabolu didn't expect that. Hola with the 5th penalty for Freiburg. Straight down the middle. Over to you, Aston Villa. Well, if John McGinn misses this, Atabolu could be a hero. McGinn for Villa. Saved by Atabolu! Freiburg win the Europa League! Villa can't believe it. And John McGinn has had his penalty saved by Atabolu. And it's a European trophy for Freiburg. Their first ever in their history. What a night this is for them. Before this season, they've never reached beyond the round of 16. This time, they've gone all the way. And Germany has another European winner in this competition. Frankfurt, the last ones. But this has been a brilliant, brilliant final. They held on right to the end. Freiburg, Europa League winners in 2026. What a night for them. They head home to Germany with a win and a first ever European title. And one to celebrate with the fans too. They will be in the Champions League next season. well, this absolutely huge. No Conference League. You're going to the Champions League. Freiburg, Europa League winners.